Hello, welcome to Bars and Bells. My name is Ian, and today we'll be training with our kettlebell and body weight in this beginner body weight and kettlebell practice. This is my kettlebell. It's a lighter one. It's one that I could do things for 5 reps or 10 reps. Grab your light kettlebell or a dumbbell, or have your imagination in full effect as we try to train for our strength. First, let's talk to our breath. From a position that's comfortable for you, whether that's a hand on the belly, chest, from a seated position, or lie on your back. From that position, take a breath in to the belly, feel the rise. Exhale. Repeat one belly breath from down low, feeling that tension build underneath, and exhale. Same thing at the chest. Take a breath into the chest here. Feel the rise action and exhale. And again, one more breath into the chest. Breath in and exhale. Now repeat a belly breath for 4 seconds in. Hold for 4 seconds. And take a gentle chest breath after that. Exhale. Repeat. Take a belly breath for 4. And hold. And now a chest breath for up to 4. And take 4 seconds to exhale. Repeat belly breath in for 4 seconds. Feel the fullness coming forward and your hold. And a breath into the chest. Expand left and right. And exhale. Let's do that one more time together here. 4-second belly breath. Hold full for 4. And a chest breath for 4. And slow exhale. Let's come back to that breath practice by the end of today's session and come back to that exercise to sleep, to prepare for movement, and to challenge your body and to continue to teach it how to breathe, even after all these years. Work on that breath. Let's go hands on the ground here, looking between the hands, and we'll continue with our head and neck. If I did a chin tuck, my crown of the head is going to go towards you on the screen, and my chin goes towards my chest. Extension of the neck is when I get to look forward and say hello. Then the same thing, pull the crown of the head high or long and the chin towards the chest as you flex at the neck. And then extend at the neck, pushing the face forward. Repeat one last time, looking between the hands. Now a lateral bend, my left ear will go to my left shoulder, but I'm actually pulling down on my right side. Then to go from left to right, I'll pull down on that left side, continue that nice tension pulley system as we flex the neck, and then continue to pull on my right now as I move towards that left. My nose is staying in the same place, and then I'll pull to my left, transitioning to the right. Return to center, look between those hands, and lastly, our rotation. The crown of the head stays in approximately the same position. The nose goes from the left to center to the right. Reach the crown of the head away from the body to lengthen out, and then return to center. One more time each side. Rotation over the shoulder. Look with the face versus craning with the eyeballs. And then one last time to the other side in our rotation. And then look down and just push off those hands and shake them out. From this position on the ground, can we flatten the toes and gently sit back to the heels. From here, touch your butt cheeks, give them a good cramp a little bit. Maybe you can go left, 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 right, right, right. Maybe both of them together. Feel that excitement of the butt cheeks to extend the hips. We'll extend, we'll tuck toes, and then sit back. Warm up those arches for some lunges and Amplify that tension into the floor. From here, continue the butt squeeze to the top. Now just flatten out those feet and go down. And let's do that once or twice more here. Squeeze your butt cheeks, conditioning it for that hip extension like our swings. And then from here, we'll tuck our toes underneath. Watch that balance. Tuck your toes underneath and then sit back. And again, maybe a little east-west move. Feel that tension under the arch. From here, extend the hips, flatten out the feet, sit back down, and come back to those hands and wrists. This time on those hands, wrists, look directly between the hands and press into the first knuckles. And then slow down. We'll do the same thing with the feet in a second. We're screwing in, blood donations forward, and press through the floor to get to the first knuckle. And down. Repeat a couple more. My quarter turn here will show a nice modification. It would be a little bit easier if the shoulders were back relative to the wrists. So this is a nice modification as we can, keeping the extension shape through our spine. But if we're allowed, load up over top and build that strength to flex the wrist or bend the wrist, and then back to extension. Last one. Same thing, first knuckle push up, and then down. Stay where you are. Let's just do a quarter turn with those hands to have the fingertips face the knees, and gently fingertips down first, then the knuckle line, and then the heels. Continue to look between the hands and press energy into the pinkies on both sides and relax. And do the same thing as you press tension into the ring fingers. Keep looking down between those hands so our spine stays long. Relax. Same thing on those middle fingers. Turn the fingertips white. Keep the knuckle line down. And then relax. And last time on those index fingers, press those heavy. And then slowly relax that tension. From there, we'll slowly bend the elbows, peeling the hands off. And then we're back to our sides of sit. Stay where you are. Just do my quarter turn. So from here, hands on the bum is optional, but make sure we can feel that hip extension all the way through. Then from there, we'll tuck toes. With hands or not, can you find the balls of the feet? From here, you might have to stand up a little bit, but get to that place where the heels can be down, challenging your range of motion. Then from there, go back to the toes, gently find those knees, and extend the hips. From there, let's go back to the heels, and continue to find those heels in your low squat. My arms out front are helping counterbalance. It would be a little harder if I were to be in tight. From there, find the toes, knees, hip extend. Let's just try that one more time. Sit back. No hands is allowed to the balls of feet. I'm going to lift my bum so it's a little bit more graceful as I dismount this next time to the balls of feet. Extend the hips. Push through. Let's go back to the hands for one last time. From this position, looking between the hands with our spine nice and long, can we shrug our shoulders as to lift them towards the ears? And then pull them down. Repeat. Elevate the shoulders, keeping those blood donations forward, and then pull them back down. Now, push the floor away, protracting the shoulder, and then squeeze those shoulder blades together in a retraction, and press the floor away. Activate the underside of that armpit. Retract, pulling between the shoulder blades. And one more. Push away, keep the spine long, and retract the shoulders. Give those hands a break. Let's extend those hips from this side of sit. Then back, Find those toes, the heels, and then stand up. And now let's keep our feet flat on the floor as we go knees over toes first. Then the heels can lift up as we sit. Find the knees, extend the hips, flatten the feet, and sit down. One more time. Extend the hips with our glute squeeze. Tuck the toes, then hinge back again to the tips of the toes. Find the heels, and then stand up. And one last time down, knees over toes, then lift those heels, knees to the ground, extend, and let's go back to all fours. Now, if we lift those knees in those shoulder blade movements, it amplifies that load or the tension. So let's try that out. On all fours, lift the knees, and from here, can you shrug or elevate the shoulder? Then push the floor away to activate those armpits. Then pull the shoulder blades down and together. Now switch our direction. So we're going to go down as if you press the shoulder blades low, protract as you push the floor away, then lift or elevate the shoulders in a shrug, and then retract back together. Put the knees down, shake out the hands for a quick second, and we'll repeat that one last time. On all fours, again, a nice beginner modification could be keeping the knees down, or an advanced movement would be lifting the knees. Screw in, lift the knees, start in retraction, and now pull down, push the floor away, shrug up, retract, and then one more time, pull down, push the floor away, elevate or shrug, and retract. Extending those hips. Are you cramped? Are you braced? And let's go back to the heels with hands or no hands. Find the toes, a little bit close to the wall. Find your low squat. And from here, stand up. Shake that out just for a second. Get that sip of water. Get yourself set up just right. And here I have my kettlebell. First, let's just talk to our gentle squat. Push your feet out into the floor, gripping down. Hopefully that turns on your butt cheeks a little bit. Feel that nice connection between you and the floor. And always brace those abs. Relax that a little bit. From here, pull the heels together and then let the knees bend. Keep the heels pulling together to encourage those knees to bend. From here, can we draw a circle with the hips, nice and slow? And if your hands are on those hip sockets or the holsters here, you'd be able to feel a little bit of that love or hate, but no matter what it is, make it polite, please, as we do our little bit of our circle bits. Return center, push down, and come up. Repeat that one more time. Push your feet down and out. And if you do that, you shouldn't go anywhere. You're locked into this nice hip extension position. And then to slowly pull the heels together to descend into your squat lunge. Adjust the feet to just right. And again, I'm going to draw a circle around the hip sockets there. That's one articulation or one direction. And then last time, clockwise, or switch your direction there. Return to center, push your feet down and out, stand up, and again, have a little bit of a wiggle. Hopefully that felt okay. And now I'd like to get into our kettlebell halo to continue warming up our core and our shoulders. So assume your squat stance of your choice, sit low. From here, grab that kettlebell with your thumbs wrapped, and with your biceps curl, take a big breath in, and bicep curl, and stand tall. Adjust your stance as you need. From here, pattern the halo around the head, over the shoulder, back to center. 2 more in that direction. Push your feet into the floor, squeeze your bum, and brace your core. Stay tight to the body with that kettlebell. Breathing in, returning to the goblet hold. From here, switch your direction for 3 as well. Making sure the head doesn't move. Maybe your ponytail or hair contraption gets in the way a little bit. But again, the shoulders or the arms are moving around the body with very else moving parts present. Then We'll adjust our squat stance, pull ourselves to low, and then extend those arms down, tip it forward, and then bare-handed up. Check it out. That's our squat. This will be our hinge. Without the kettlebell, take those knife edges of the hands and chop yourself on the hips. As we push those hips back, we're maintaining vertical shins in the front. So now place the hands on the shins in the front. Shrug your shoulders once, but then pull them back down, and hopefully you feel nice connections between the shoulders and the hips. From here, push the floor away and extend to tall. Repeat, hip hinge, push your butt back, arms could come with, but then bring the hands forward. Are the shins in fact vertical? And then again at the shoulders, shrug, but then pull them back down, push the floor out, and extend. So that one more time, set up our hip hinge, push back, the shoulders should be over top of those knees, and then the shins vertical, push the feet out, cramp up those glutes, drive through. Squats and hinges, both are good, just depends what that task is. We'll repeat one more time on that kettlebell halo, again using a book or a ball or just an imagination, making sure that we avoid those shrugs and we have that strength from those armpits, lats, underneath the shoulders. So here we go. Let's go one more time on the halo, 3 each way. Pull yourself towards low, grab it, brace with the core and a biceps curl up. Then, drive to tall. Adjust your stance. I'll switch my direction now. So I'm gonna go once over my right shoulder first, brace, and then left, switching directions. Repeat to the other side, squeezing your bum, pushing out into the floor. This is rep number 4 here. Then we'll do one more each side. Over the shoulder, around the back, and then back to that goblet hold. And then last time, nice and slow to the rack. And then open, pull yourself low, bicep curl reverse, and then up out of that squat. A little bit of a shake, and we'll repeat that hinging exercise one more time. Knife edges out to the front, chop. The chop, the hinge. Arms can be back. If they are, they're in line with your spine versus being up high. But place them on the front shins. Now protract to the floor as you round your back, and then retract. From here, push the floor away and extend. 2 more as we chop. Hands can go back, but then find those shins in the front. Round the shoulders a little bit in that protracted shape, and then retract. Extend. Last one. Set up a hip hinge. Arms in line with the spine, and then hands can come forward. Protract to get a little softer, rounded, and then retract. Push the floor away and stand up. Check it out. Do you have a kettlebell close by? Dumbbells work just as fine. If you are using a dumbbell, I'd recommend bumping up the floor a little bit. The bell is all the way down on the floor, but the place I'm lifting is right here, just about my mid shin where my tube socks would kind of hit here. So again, squats, hinges, both are great, but the when and the where. But until we get into that, let's get our get up going here. So we could place a hand overhead, but for right now, I'll just place it across my chest. And then the leg that we can touch, drop back into that lunge. How do the arches feel from before in that warm up? Then take that front leg, open it to the side, rotate. We chopped already, and we'll hinge. Then load over top, shoulder stacked over the wrist. From there, tall sit. Find your elbow, and then push off the elbow, returning to the floor. Up the same side. Extend the hip, shoulder rolls with, we'll pull on the elbow, pushing through the hand to our tall sit. Now push the hand that way, push the foot that way, and rise in the middle, loading up over top. From there, sweep through, come up tall, square up that lunge, that the flashlights on the hips, the shoulders and the head are facing the same direction, and then push to stand. Repeat on the other side. Hand across chest, drop back, keep the front foot pulling in as the back hip extends forward. Then wiggle that leg out to the side, rotate, chop on that hinge, load up over top, watch out for kettlebells, obstacles in the way. As we sweep our leg through, we'll find the elbow and then push off that elbow, returning to your back. Then extend, pull on the ground to tall, push the foot this way, push the hand that way, and lift up in the middle to bridge, to sweep, push the hand off the ground, square up the lunge, hi-ya on that tension to stand up nice and tall. Little shakes. Was that the warm-up? Is that the workout? How do you feel through those movements? The halo has been our loaded movements so far, and nice body weight versions of our hinges. I'd like to get into our loaded hinge now. So grab that kettlebell, place it in a nice position for you with the handle perpendicular to the way the feet are organized. From here, we're going to grab up one hand. So take one hand across the chest. Now grab that kettlebell with one arm. Hold it for time. Check your position. Let go. And then up. Check my position. What did you mean? Watch for just a second. As I hinge here, I'm making sure that my shoulders stay square or parallel with the floor. This shape here is nice in that rotation, but if we were going to lift it, we're going to make sure the shoulders stay square. So I'm going to let go, come up barehanded. Let's do that one more time. It's a little bit of a shake. Take a hand across the chest, set up your hip hinge, push your butt back, and look to set up a single arm hinge here. Are your shoulders in fact square? Hold it for a second or two longer, then let go, and extend through. Same thing on the other side. I'll take my right hand across my chest. I can set up that hip chop, and as I hinge, we're making sure my shoulders stay parallel to the floor or squared forward. Hold for a second or two, let go, extend the hips through. Same thing, two more. Hinge. If we're going down, and as I'm showing my rotation here, that's okay, but find that way to bring your shoulders square, hold for time, let go, and then extend those hips through. For the final one, set up the hinge, push the feet out for tension and control, pack the shoulder, hold for time, let go, and then come up. Shake that out. We're going to work on one more exercise. Let's get down to the floor through our get up again and work on our hard style plank while we're on the floor. An arm could be placed overhead, but again, I'm going to take mine across the chest and really focus on the low body parts of this lunge. So single leg, drop back, push the butt cheek forward in the back as we pull in on the front. Then open that leg to the side. We can set up our nice hinge, and then our sweep, and then find our elbow, and then press away. Stay on the ground. Let me just come up a little bit. And now on the ground, get on those forearms. Maybe you're on your knees like I am, and hopefully you can feel your spine staying nice and long compared to, say, the flex shape. So with the spine long, from here, lengthen out those legs, bum up higher than you ever thought in your plank, and then tuck under to connect. And for 10 seconds, we'll pull those elbows to the hips. You'll squeeze the butt cheeks. Always working on that chin tuck. Yours truly is always right here for 3 and 2. And then knees down. and rest for a second. Hopefully that was tough. Find a way to make those 10-second planks safely and amazingly challenging. Pack the shoulders. I'm going to use my knees to help me lift. Bum up a little higher than I ever thought. Then lift it up even higher yet again. And then tuck and pull yourself forward. And for 10, 9, butts are squeezing, abs are bracing. For 3 and 2, and soft knees, and return to the floor. From here, let's just get back up through a get up. And for me, that's going to be my right hand across the chest. From there, we'll extend or push through the hip. Pull on the floor. Get to that tall sit. Push the foot away. Load up in our rotation. Extend. Square. Hiya. I'm stepping back, but you step forward. That was kind of not good etiquette there. Come forward on that. I just felt I didn't have enough room. Shake it out. Here we are back to that kettlebell hinge. I like to pick it up with one arm. So stand over top of your bell. Chop the hips. I'll take that hand across the chest just so it's out of the way. As we set up that hinge, are we in a rotated pattern or are we square? As we're square, we'll pack that armpit, lift nice and tall, and then step together, bringing the kettlebell to the outside of the hip. Now for one repetition, just do a little bit of this soft side bend to the loaded side, and then with that other side of the body, pull to tall. Let's hold for 10 more seconds, working on our grip strength, and I hope our abs are saying hello here as well. For 5, 4, 3. Now open your stance, return the kettlebell to the ground without the rotation. Then let go and extend through. Same thing on the other side. Hand across chest. Reach for that kettlebell in the center of the body, making sure we're not rotated. Grip on, and even if you are rotated, square up those shoulders, preload in that armpit, and then drive to tall. Step together. For one repetition, let a little bit of that soft side bend take over on the loaded side, and then pull with those abs on the other. We'll hold this as well for about 10 seconds. Maybe on your own, hold it for about a full minute. I know if I'm trying to work on my strength, farmer's walks like this really help build this core strength and the grip needed for life and our lifts. Open up your stance. As we hinge, keep that shoulder square, let go, and come up with your body weight. How'd that feel? Let's do that one more time right away using our hinge. Other side now, so chop. Maybe take that other hand out of the way so it just feels like it has somewhere to go. And as we hinge, are your shoulders square? Pack that armpit that we're loading up the hips and not the shoulder. And then from there, drive to tall. Step together, cue up those abs on the other side, and maybe, this time for about 20 seconds, go for a little walk. Challenge your directions in fronts or backs, as well as maybe some lateral steps. Nice and control, stylized as I am here is good. Step and pull. Step and pull. And maybe last repetition to reset your stance. And then hinge, shoulders square, body weight up. Same thing on the other side. Hip hinge, are your shoulders square, preload, and lift, and then out to the side. And again, walking front, nice and control, or walking backwards, build that strength in the grips, the balance and the coordination. And the laterals are some of my favorite. Also some of the hardest, I think. A couple more. And then finish in your deadlift or your swing stance. Hinge on those hips. Is that shoulder square? And then let go and come up barehanded. All right, that's our hinge. We want to get into our kettlebell swing. Don't do this right away, but ideally, this is where we're going with that kettlebell swing. I'll do it for 5. Whew. Gets the heart rate going, even just 5. It's like flying up those stairs. First set of stairs, whoo, heart rate goes up. Before we get into that swing with us here in this practice, I'd like to introduce some other drills. We'll call this one our shadow swing. Start with your hands out front, and you're in your planks tension. Planks tension. Lauren's gonna come through that door and hit me on those abs. I can sense it. From here, arms go down, but you stay tall. Let's do that again. Do a quarter turn this time. Arms out front, are the shoulders retracted. Now let those hands come down, nice and control. Once they hit the quads or the hips here, incorporate that hip hinge we've worked on and try to get the hands passing behind the body as close as they can to the groin. Then push your feet out, keep the hands tight, squeeze your butt cheeks, and then let it float or fly away. Pause for a second. Are your shoulders protracted the way I'm showing right here, or retracted nice and strong? With straight arms, take your time as they fall to the ground or the hips, and then once they connect to the hips, try to have those hands reach behind the bum cheeks, push the feet out, stand tall, and then shoulders stay low as we float that kettlebell. One more time. Shoulders in retraction, arms down, nice and control. When there's nowhere for them to go, we'll push those feet out, tension building between us and the floor, and then keep pushing out to stand up. Hands separate from the body last, and let them float, and then let them shake out. We're gonna come back to this kettlebell, and this time, holding it with one arm in the rack position. If you're unfamiliar with this, watch for the first one. We'll do it quickly, and then we'll do our set of timed holds. So using that one arm grip over top, is that shoulder again squared up? Take the other hand, place it on the bottom, and in a fluid pull movement, use your hips to extend and pull load to our rack. 2 hands on, down, up barehanded. Let's just set that up on the other side, same thing. So here, I'll make sure my shoulder is staying nice and square, my left hand on the bell, then my right hand goes underneath of it, pack the shoulders, zip, preload that bell, ending up in the rack. 2 hands on, down, and barehanded back up. Now let's do that for time, but 10 seconds again in that rack's position. So I'll take my right hand, place it on the bell, grip it with my left for support, pull it up the body to the rack, maybe change your base of support. Hold it with the pinky. Yes, that kettlebell gets a little bit heavy on the forearm, but is it heavy in your hand or is it feeling heavy in your shoulder? It's an interesting distinction that we ask our students to make, and it'd be preferred that it's heavy in the hand and secure and safe in the shoulder. 2 hands, return to the floor, come up barehanded, a little bit of a shake, and do the same thing on the other side. Hip hinge, hand on, grab it. Are the shoulders in fact square? Preload to that rack's position, adjust your stance, and like before, you can go for our little walk, nice and slow, fronts and backs, side to side, and then again, forward. So for today's practice, those 10 to 20 second holds on your own, try to build that strength for about a full minute. Or follow one of our other pre-recorded videos where we do some of those holds for longer durations. Let's come back to that hinge. This time it's a little bit quicker. It's the same idea of a body weight hinge here, but we'll call it a chop and pop instead. If we chop those hips, hinge back, and then extend those hips as we pop forward. Chop, hips go back, and then pop, hips go forward. Keep the elbows bent and time it so that as we chop, we hinge, and as we pop, the hands come through after. Let's go with 5 more. We'll chop, we'll pop, we'll chop, we'll pop, chop, pop, and 2 more here. Inhale, pow, inhale, pow, and then shake. One more time in that rack hold position. Over top of the kettlebell, set up your hinge. Single hand on, connect that other shoulder as well. Zip to the rack, and here we go. Nice and control. Are you leaning one side or the other? Find a way again to stimulate those abdominals, work on the balance, and improve your grip strength for our other favorite lifts. In 5 seconds, we'll open up our stance, 2 hands on to the ground, barehanded up. Same thing on the other side now. Hip hinge, keep square, preload, zip, adjust your stance, and again, nice and slow, go for our walk. Use the floor. Feel and pull, push that tension, accept that tension. Build friendship with hard surfaces like the floor and heavy objects like our kettlebell. Last 1 or 2, get your favorite stance, hinge, and up barehanded, and shake that out. How about the overhead? Do you have a kettlebell that you're ready to go overhead with? Let's take one quick detour. Let's get back down to the floor and hold it in our firing range first. Let's do a lunge to get there. 10 seconds on this lunge, folks. So we want to keep those hips forward. And as we pull ourselves down, the front leg pulls in, back leg's going forward, nice control down. Then we could finish like our get up, find the floor, sweeps, elbows. And I'm going to move up just a little bit again. So this will be our firing range hold, a nice prelude to getting us maybe in that overhead position today. So cuddle it, pack that shoulder like the starts of our get up, take your sniff, roll to your back, and with 2 hands, press it to the ceiling. At your safety and strength feels, take the other hand away and build about 15 seconds worth of tension in this position here. Stacking the wrist over, the hand over the wrist over the elbow, and the elbow on top of the shoulder. The shoulder blade is retracted and pulling down to the hips or the center line. Then we'll go 2 hands on, cuddle it down to the hip, and then turn. Same thing on the other side. Should have worn my hair a little higher today, so we all know about those hair piece interferences, but here we are in our cuddle. Are you shrugged? Are you proud and ready to go? From here, roll to your back. On your back side, yep, to press. Take the other hand away as it feels safe and secure. And at the shoulder, we're keeping shoulder blade packed in, hugging midline and hip. The elbow is stacked again over top of the shoulder. The fist is gripping over top of the elbow. And for 5 more seconds, build that strength and awareness here. 2 hands on the kettlebell, pull the elbow to the hip, and slowly turn with it. From here, let's do a get up, up. If you're here, just make it easy. I'm gonna bend that knee, sweep through, square up, and nice and tall. So in my opinion, we've saved the hardest lift for the end, the overhead. If the overhead is not something that you want to do for today's practice, just come back to either that racks position or our low hold, but this will be the last way that we hold our kettlebell for time. In that rack position, it's that effort to go overhead without shrugging our shoulder, keeping that armpit down so we can stay nice and strong. Here, I'll set up in my swings position, 2 hands on the bell, and pull it to the rack. From the rack, I'll adjust my feet and press to overhead. Making sure that that armpit can stay low, our shoulders are stacked over top of those hips, and for time, hold it, and then time as well to slowly pull it down. Nice and control. 2 hands on, hinge down, body weight up. Same thing on the other side. For that, I'll just do my quarter turn. I'm standing over top of my bell. I have that 2-hand grip, and I'll pull to the rack. From the rack, core tension, armpit down as we press. Hold for time. Again, I hope my arm is hiding my ear, my arm stacked over top of the rest of my body, and push and pull into the ground for that tension. Cramp up glutes, brace those abs, and for a couple more seconds, pull that elbow low. 2 hands on and down and shake. That's the overhead position. Not an easy one. We want to make sure that we feel safe in the low and the medium and build that awareness as you press that load overhead. I'd like to finish today's practice with a couple get-ups and one last set of squats. So let's work down up on one side, down up on the other. We'll finish with our squat. Hand over the chest or overhead and check your surroundings that your kettlebell is out of the way. From here, a right leg drop in our lunge with control. Open the leg to the side. Rotate, hinge, load up over top, find the sweep, find the elbow. Let's make this the hardest part of the day here. 10 seconds to the floor. Absolutely no shrugs. So push that floor away, and for 10, 9, 8, and if I stop counting, it's because it gets intense, and we'll slowly find the floor. From here, push through the floor, extending the hip and rolling, pulling on the elbow, tall sitting, push the floor forward through the foot, and sweep through. Come on up, find your lunge to tall. Repeat to the other side. Nice and slow in our lunge. Open. Rotate the upper body, hinge on that hip, finding the floor. Sweep through, find the elbow, and again, 9, 8, 7, 6. Oh, a little bit, 3, 2, 1 there. And then last time up, extend that hip, pull, get tall, push the foot that way to load up onto that arm hand, and sweep, extend, square, press away to come up to the top. Last move of the day, let's try to get 8. Let's have a little bit of fun with our sumo squats to finish. Sumo stance is approximately 2 shoulder widths. I think I'm pretty good around there. From here, let's pull ourselves down to our squat position. For effect and for fun, and to turn on these VM quad muscles, hit those and balance on a single leg. Draw the leg up and then extend. Finish with the toes, toe ball heel on the landing. Pull yourself to the same low or perhaps a little lower. Hit those quads, transfer weight, extend, finish toes, and down. That's 2, let's go 6 more. As we go here, we can start to break some of those rules and just look for a nice exploring our nice creativity, strength as we develop balance. And this is hard. Could you imagine a sumo wrestler doing this? Holy cow. And then point, and then down. That's 4. This is number 5. Nice and control, reaching for the sky here. Oh, I gotta look forward, can't look over there. And down. Well, I could look over there, just makes it harder. So looking straight forward, something that's fixed, nice and control, look for that straightened leg and down. Let's go that one more time each side here. My favorite little fun weight transfer here. Incorporates the rules of the ballet with a little bit of freedom to break them as well. Last one. Oh. And down. And maybe you stay in your squat, or maybe that's way crazy and no thank you. But regardless, thank you very much for spending this morning or this afternoon or evening in the archives with me, and I look forward to sharing more with you in the future. Again, my name's Ian. I'm from Bars and Bells. Thank you for training and staying strong with us online. Subscribe to YouTube, become a member at barsandbells.com. No matter what, take care and be body aware. Have a good day. Goodbye.